don't know what this man eats for breakfast that he has the power to do this with words. I did not catch the killer. But like, see, I'm looking for romance in a thriller book, and so I just think that maybe I'm not the right reader. Hello, happy Thursday or Wednesday. Welcome to my channel. First and foremost, welcome back. If you've never been here before, I'm Sammy, Samantha Marie Lot, if you will. And welcome to another reading vlog. We are gonna be finishing up books that I am in the middle of. If that's okay with you, Q. Let's take a real quick sip. I hope everybody has a fun little bevy. Cheers. Now, how many books am I in the midst of, you ask? 3. Count them, 3. There's a variety of reasons for this. One, I'm reading Alchemized by Sen-Lin Yu. This is an 1,000-page book. It is tragic, heartbreaking, emotional damage wrapped up, and not really wrapped up, in a 1,000-page paper book. There's a lot going on these pages. There's a lot of world building. There's a lot of words I've never read in my life before in this book, and I don't know if I was quite up for the challenge when I picked this up. I'm pretty close to part 3, so I've still got a few hundred pages left. I did take a break from this because I was feeling like, oh my gosh, it's been a year since I finished a book. Oh my gosh, I feel like I haven't been happy reading a book for a while. This was just like such a dark place to be in. If you don't know anything about this book, this was originally Manacled, which is a Hermione fan fiction. Now, I cannot speak to what that book was because I didn't read it. I tried to read it, download it on my Kindle probably 2 years ago. Back in like 2023, I tried to download it. It just showed up weird. I didn't know how to do it right, whatever. Then this was coming out and I was like, why try anymore? And a lot of people were like, you don't really need to read Manacled to be here. So I cannot speak to that book. It's supposed to be post-apocalyptic times. Harry Potter is dead. Voldemort won. But obviously characters are changed and people are saying this is quite different from Manacled and the world building is very intricate and well done. People are just saying this is quite a step up from Manacled if they've read Manacled before. But I do find the world building to be a bit confusing, but that might not be the book's fault. That could be just my fault. I don't really read any high fantasy. I kind of wish like in the front they would have different glossary like for all the words like alchemy and metallurgy but like glossary, maps, some outlines, family trees, order of the eternal flame and everybody's little pieces and I don't know if it would be less confusing if you read Manacled perhaps and like you knew who each person was supposed to be, but it does feel a little bit confusing and a little bit monotonous and boring, some of the world building. But again, I don't know if that's a fault of the book or just the fact that I don't read books with such extensive world building. However, the emotional connection to the characters grows very deeply, and so I'm really enjoying that part. But yeah, a very good book so far. I am in the middle of that, took a break because I needed to finish a book. I finished The Defender by Anna Huang. I needed to have a good, silly, fun little time. After that, I didn't know that I was ready to pick back up Alchemized because I want to keep finishing books. Like I love to get to a start to an end, complete a task. I love completed tasks and that just wasn't going to be it. So I started reading Frederick Bachman, Beartown. This is one of my 10 before the end. I am chapter 20, like 160 pages in. I'm loving this. To be in Frederick Bachman's writing is such a privilege. I love the way this man writes. I've only ever read Anxious People, which is like a God tier 6-star book for me. But Beartown, I'm sure everybody's heard of this. This is about, really all there is to say is this is about a little small community where hockey is so important, and it's important for a number of reasons. The kids playing, their futures, but also the future of the town, the impact of hockey economically to the town, emotionally to the town, the dynamics of it. It's so intricately woven into this community hockey is. I think this is probably a book anybody can pick up and enjoy. I don't think there's like a certain demographic. I definitely don't think this is for young kids or anything like that, but the general population of adults, I think most people would pick this up and like this. And then I also started an audiobook because I needed something to listen to while I do like prep work for La Bowls, while I do cleaning in the house. But normally when I do an audiobook, I pick a thriller because thriller's not like my number one genre. I'm not going to be upset if I'm not annotating it. So I'll always pick a thriller, but I'll pick a thriller that is on my bookshelf, so that way I am getting through my physical TBR. I'm not adding another random book to it. So I started The Maidens by Alex Michaelides, and he actually wrote The Silent Patient, which is one of my favorite psychological thrillers. So far, we are following Mariana, who has just recently lost her husband, and she's going through that. She's a psychotherapist. She does group therapy, so she's managing life, but also managing the loss of her husband. She has a niece who is back at the college she used to go to. Her name is Zoe, and her best friend was murdered. So Mariana has to go to the college, support her, but she kind of gets wrapped up in the investigation of this murder just because something doesn't feel right. But there's these group of girls who I'm assuming are going to be the maidens at this college campus who are just like a little bit suspicious, but it's a lot of fun so far. Those are all the books I'm currently in the middle of. In this reading vlog, we're going to finish these, hopefully. This will probably be like one of the last videos I film because I am going to try to do bookmas this year. So that's the plan for this reading vlog. Welcome back to the reading vlogs. Happy Friday. It's the Friday after Thanksgiving. I've not done too good of a job making this reading vlog. Things have been a bit busy, a bit chaotic, and I haven't not dedicated too much time to reading. Or when I am reading, I haven't dedicated the time to filming said reading situations. Of the 3 books that I'm in the midst of, the one I've been reading the most of right now is The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I am mostly listening to it on audiobook, so like I actually haven't physically read any of this book. I have an hour and 16 minutes left. I'm on chapter 21 of part 4. This much through. I want to say I would classify it as more of a psychological mystery with a dark academia setting, if that makes sense. That is the vibes of this book, and I'm really enjoying it, but it is more of a slow build, a slow burn. I think this would be a really fun, like if it was turned into a movie, I think this would be very good. There are quite a few suspicious characters. I think when I listen to things on audiobook, it takes out the investigative aspect for me. Like I'm not on the edge of my seat trying to figure out who it is. I'm more so enjoying the story, and I'm not mad about that. I mean, there's people who feels like it's like obvious, but I can't imagine that it's gonna be obvious. But really, I'm not sure, and we just like don't have that much left in the book to go. So right now, I'm gonna clean up the house, do a little post-holiday cleanup, and definitely finish this on audiobook. So we're gonna finish this book today, and then I might read Beartown later, like when I settle down for the day. But that's the plan. I think I'm gonna make a fun little drink. that hasn't, there's been no cleaning done in there thus far. We've been cleaning, we've been vacuuming, laundry has been done, and we did finish Maidens. Maidens has been finished. It was pretty good. Didn't predict anything with the ending. Did catch me off guard, so I guess that's a good thing, right? It's better if you can't guess it. I don't know, sometimes I think I feel defeated if I didn't guess it. Probably like somewhere from like a 3.5 to a 4 star. Definitely a thriller mystery book that I enjoy more than others. I enjoy the writing style. They never change my world, you know? I like the dark academia aspect to it. Caught me off guard. I did not catch the killer. I think I'm gonna try to listen to some of Alchemized on audiobook. I do want to annotate Alchemized, but maybe if I like hear something that I want to, I'll just pause it and write down like what the quote was or something. But I don't want to start a different book because we're trying to finish some books, right? We were in the midst of 3 books, now we're in the midst of 2 books. I don't want to add a new one until I've finished those 2 books. So that's the plan. I have more laundry to fold, more books to listen to. Is 9:14. I probably started filming today around like 3:30, maybe 4. Cleaning has been done. A book has been finished. Another book has been, you know, more delved into. The book we finished, as you may already know, The Maidens by Alex Michaelides. I fully listened to this. I didn't read any of this. I believe I'm gonna settle on a 3.5 out of 5 stars for this book. I am not the biggest thriller reader. I feel like I don't really emotionally invest in the characters the same way I emotionally invest in other ways, and I really like an emotional investment. You know, I'm waiting for the romance, or I'm waiting for the found friendship, I'm waiting for those things, and you just don't necessarily get those in thrillers, which I get because that's maybe not the point of them. I do like when there's more of like a psychological element to them, and this had a psychological element. It was almost like a cozy read. Like, I loved the setting at the university. I loved the Greek tragedy and mythology like intertwined into it. I loved the dark academia aspects. So it was almost cozy in a sort of way, but like obviously not, because the content that is happening, like the murders and various things going on, are not cozy. And I did find myself like, I was like, I do want to pick this up. I really did want to actually physically read it too. I just didn't get the opportunity to. The twist at the end got me good. I did not see it coming. Even like a chapter or 2 before, I was like, oh my gosh, we know who it is. No, we didn't. Well, maybe you guys did. Perhaps you guys did. I unfortunately did not. So I didn't know who it was until like we literally found out. So yeah, 3.5 out of 5 stars. I did enjoy it. I would recommend it if you're looking for a thriller. I don't know, the romance reader in me, like if one of these characters wasn't such a creep, I'm like, oh, low-key they're enemies to lovers, you know what I mean? But he's a weirdo, he's a creep, inappropriate. But like, see, I'm looking for romance in a thriller book, and so I just think that maybe I'm not the right reader. But then I decided to, I didn't know if I wanted to because I've kind of been annotating this book, but this is Alchemized by Senlin Yu, and I didn't know if I wanted to listen to it, but I was like, whatever, let me go ahead and listen to it. And there really wasn't anything I wanted to annotate in what I had listened to. So I finished part 2, and I'm officially on to part 3, which is so exciting. Part 3. So like, this is where we're at. So we're progressing, like we're finally getting somewhere. No, probably couldn't finish this tonight. We have a couple hundred more pages left. Cool. There's my updates. I don't really know what the plan is. Could possibly be a good night right here. I'm not totally sure. 1 book finished, 2 more to go. 1 page at a time. Happy Monday, happy December 1st. Cheers to the holiday season, the bookmas season. It's my birthday month also. I've come today to finally wrap up this vlog. This was meant to be finished, completed like a week ago. I wanted it to be my last November video. That way I could partake in bookmas. However, we're still gonna do bookmas. My plan is to do 12 days of bookmas, but do every other day on the even number. So December 2nd, 4th, and so on. Last day will be Christmas Eve. I love bookmas and vlogmas season because my main form of content that I take in is YouTube. But as you know, I've been in the middle of three books for quite some time, and I finished all of them in the last 2 days. I've already talked about this book quite a bit. I believe you understand my thoughts, opinions, and views on it. 3.5 out of 5 stars for this one. That's the last we'll be talking about it in this video. We'll move on. I don't know who I should talk about next. I think I'm gonna go Frederick Bachman Beartown because I'm gonna save the reason that started this whole video for last. This is gonna be a 5-star for me. I don't know what this man eats for breakfast that he has the power to do this with words. And that's all I can really say. I mean, from what I had seen online, I thought I had known what went on in this book, and I was wrong. Of course, if you are somebody who needs to look at trigger warnings before reading a book, this is a book that you're going to want to do so with. I will say my favorite character to watch throughout this was Kira. She is one of our main characters, Maya. Kira is her mom. And she is just the woman, a woman. I'm obsessed with her. I love her. I mean, the emotional devastation happens pretty quick. Like, I was crying at page 70. And I know with this whole reading vlog, it's probably surprising to see a 5-star come out of it because it seems like it's taken so long to read stuff. But it also just kind of happened because sometimes I wasn't given the opportunity to pick something up. So this book, I really read it in only 2 sittings. They were just separate sittings that they occurred in. This is a story about the real lives and people who live in Beartown, a town who is so hyper fixated on hockey and what it means to them economically, emotionally, socially. You really delve into the inner thoughts and turmoils of each character. You get to know each character very well. There's going to be characters that piss you off. There's going to be characters that you're inspired by. There are going to be tear-jerking stories, but this was phenomenal and I can't wait to read the next couple of books. This is a 3-part series, and he has this way too of like, he'll mention something either at the beginning of the chapter or the beginning of the book, and he'll circle all the way back and bring that point back to why that was important. And it's interesting because it's how we were taught to write. I mean, at least like in AP English and stuff, like you begin a certain way and you wrap it up to show why you are beginning there. Yeah, I don't know. This was phenomenal. 5 stars. Would recommend to any and everybody. And then lastly, the book that started it all. The book that started it all. Woo! This is officially the longest book I've ever read. It's like 1,020, 30 some pages. I think I've already given the plot of this, but we're following 2 main characters, Kane Farron and Helena. This was originally the Manacled Dramini fan fiction, got turned into a traditionally published book, rewritten characters. Everything from what the fan fiction was from has been removed from this, so that way it could be published and sold. This is a dark fantasy. There's a lot of dark elements. There are romantic elements, but it is not a romantasy. There are certainly trigger warnings that should be read for those who do need them. We can see from like how many annotations there are, how like insane this book was. I am conflicted on my thoughts and feelings on it because the world building for me. If the way we broke this up, I don't know if it worked, the part 1 and 2 and 3. There's something about the way the world was crafted and the book was crafted structurally and for the flow of it that doesn't work for me personally. I think this book would have deeply benefited from something in the front that would have like a glossary for terms specific to this book, outlines of, you know, like hierarchies within Order of the Eternal Flame versus like the other side. But there's something structurally that didn't work for me because I got a bit lost in part 2. But I love the lessons expressed in this. I love how deeply I do feel connected to these characters, because I better feel connected to them after spending this much time with them, because of how like extensive the world building is. Like I do see this, like when I'm thinking about this book, I see the characters. Some of the scenes are just movie scenes in my head. I don't remember it as words on paper. I remember it as like I watched a TV series or a movie. So that's really, really good too. So I think I'm settling on a 4.5 out of 5 stars, because there was just something structurally with the world building or how this book was set up that needed to be different for me for it to be a 5 stars. It shows you the deepest, darkest parts that happen in war. For some reason, the romance felt a little fast, which kind of sounds crazy for an 1,000-page book, but it just felt like we were building, we were enemies, and then all of a sudden a flip switch and we weren't enemies anymore. But yeah, I'll defend my girl. I don't know if it's Helena or Helena, till the day I die. She deserved better than what she got in life. She deserved better than any of these people in this book. I finally understand what people are talking about when they say she was a non-active member of the Eternal Flame. Helena means the world to me after reading this. But I don't think this book is for everybody. I think it's like an excellent piece of work, but definitely don't think it's for everybody. But it definitely didn't end the way I thought it was going to end, which I guess all these books caught me off guard. Maybe I wasn't like using my context clues very well. I finished all 3 of these books in the last 2 days. Thank goodness gracious. We ended up with a 3.5. We're kind of all on the spectrum. 3.5, 4.5, and a 5-star read. And I'm really happy with all of those. So thank you for watching. Thanks for finishing some books with me. I hope this inspires you to finish some things up that you needed to, whether that was cleaning like we did, reading some books, whatever it is. We did it. We did it in these last couple of days. So thank you for watching. Yeah, I'll see you for Bookmas. Hopefully.